Hey, Coach, just how did Coach Tang sell you on the job to come to Kansas State?
Well, let's see. How he sold me on the job was the fact of he wanted to be able to put a staff together that can basically elevate the program to another level from a defense, offense, chemistry standpoint, relationship standpoint. And we have a lot of similar traits, too, in our beliefs. And so that pretty much, done it for me to realize that, hey, when you be around a lot of like-minded people with the same goals, then great things can happen.
Have you guys had any, I guess, crossover in your past? I guess, what is your experience together that kind of, created that familiarity that you had that made you a candidate?
Well, he's recruited some of my players that I've coached in the past, and so he's been at our practices and actually watched me run practice and been at our games and watched me coach games and things like that. And we've had a friendship, through that. And when we go to the Final Fours and see each other there, and everything like that. And so that's kind of more or less how our relationship actually got started, and it's just grown from there.
Is there anything about your, I guess, coaching ability that you're the most confident in that you think you'll provide Kansas State with once you really get on your feet and rolling?
Yeah, I'm very confident in my abilities to be able to coach. I'm very detail oriented, making sure guys pay attention to the detail part, holding guys accountable. And that's what coach is all about, also. And, he wants me to kind of help out on the offensive side of things, and kind of built a little bit of a reputation for, what we do offensively. So, therefore, I think that's going to be the biggest things for me with the relationship piece.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Derek. Next question to Kellis Robinette, the Kansas City Star.
Hey, Rodney, welcome to Manhattan, first off.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, why was it important for you to finish out the summer with MoCan for both you and Jerome Tang? Why was it important for you to finish out the season rather than just come and start immediately?
Well, we're both the type of people that when you make a commitment to something, you have to be fully invested into that. And so we figured it would not hurt in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It actually would just be able to help us because of me continuing to build relationships, not only with the players that I was actually currently coaching, but I also have a lot of relationships with a lot of the other coaches and programs and directors of those programs in the EYBL, that knowing that, hey, these are some of the programs and coaches that we're going to be dealing with in the future as far as recruiting base wise go. And so we just wanted to continue to just keep building, great relationships, because a lot of recruiting part comes from, the relationships that you build. And so we figured that would be, a great, deal for us at K-State, plus being able to, we always call it finish what you start. When I start something, I'm going to finish it. And so that was what we kind of agreed upon.
You've coached college and high school before. Is there anything you like about the college game more?
Well, I love the college game. I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to play, Division I college basketball, win a championship. Also played in the NCAA tournament, played for Hall of Fame coach and Charlie Spoonhour at Missouri State. So, I love the college game. I actually love the fact that, a lot of players are wanting to become pros, and then college game puts you one step away from, being a pro, too. And then the exposure that the college game actually gets, I think is phenomenal. And then the talent level, at the college level is a lot higher than at the high school level. And so I love to compete. And so that's one of the things that really, triggered me about this position and situation here is that, we're going to have opportunity to have some great teams here moving forward.
One more for you. It seems like everybody else in the staff kind of has connections in Texas, Louisiana, and South. You seem to be more Missouri, this area. Is that kind of your wheelhouse, recruiting right around this area?
Well, the Midwest is where I have a lot of connections. Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, Iowa, and then I also have some connections when my time that I spent in Pennsylvania, out east there, as well. So I have some ties and connections out there. But really, I have ties and connections pretty a lot of other places too, because when you're playing in the EYBL and you have teams, 40 teams there from all over the country, you actually build great relationships with those teams also.
Hey, Rodney, how are you doing?
Great, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I guess with kind of not being with the rest of the coaches while you've been with MoKan, what's kind of your familiarity with the roster so far that they've kind of built up, and how much have you gotten to know any of the guys that they brought in?
Well, I was able to keep up with everything that was going on the whole entire time, and I actually got a chance to come in and watch the guys work out in June when they was working out, and had opportunity to meet the guys, also. So I'm familiar with pretty much all the guys. There was only 2 guys that wasn't here, at the time, Bebe and Taiki. Was it 2, but I have synergy, so I was able to actually go and pull up film and study those guys and watch those guys too. And then Bebe was also at Arkansas for a year, and I'm from Arkansas, so always familiar with everyone that's in the Arkansas program, and so Desi, I was very familiar and actually coached against Desi coming up and everything too. And so I've been very familiar with all the guys on the roster.
And then obviously you just brought up Bebe and Desi, but just as a whole, what's kind of your impression of the roster right now? I know they're kind of an athletic bunch.
Long athletic bunch. Defense is going to be the thing. We're going to lay our hat on defense and be able to use our athleticism, and even with Marquise being as fast as he is and as crafty as he is, being able to get out and transition and go a little bit there, too. And but just overall, just being able to, find some chemistry, find out what everyone does, the best, and figure out what the roles will end up being on the team for different guys, and just getting those guys to buy into their role for us to be successful.
And then just being a Midwest guy and being around, before Coach Tang reached out to you, what's been your impression of K-State as a program, as a school, just from an outsider's point of view? What have you thought?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be able to watch and follow K-State. I actually had a couple of my former players actually play here with Will Spradlin and Nino Williams also. So those 2 guys played for me, and I used to be able to come and watch them play while they was here. And number one is the fan base. The fan base is terrific, and then obviously the tradition here, and having some teams that have been able to win Big 12 conference championships and do well in the NCAA tournament. Not too long ago, the K-State was in the Elite 8, and so those are the things that we want to be able to do each and every year too. And so knowing the familiarity with K-State allows me to be able to convince some of the kids in the Midwest that, hey, this is a place that you want to definitely come and be a part of.